Mich Rich Show, issues are highlighted. Dr. Michelle E. is changing lives, yeah. On the Mich Rich Show.
Thank you for joining us today on the Mich Rich Show. I am Dr. Michelle E., your host. In today's episode, we will be highlighting the deadly sickle cell disease, SCD. Sickle cell disease is a genetic condition that is present at birth. It is inherited when a child receives two sickle cell genes, one from each parent. Sickle cell disease and sickle cell traits are both diagnosed with a simple blood test. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, it is estimated that SCD affects approximately 100,000 Americans. SCD occurs among about 1 out of every 365 Black or African American births. SCD occurs among about 1 out of every 16,300 Hispanic American births. About 1 in 13 Black or African American babies is born with sickle cell trait. Sickle cell disease is a lifelong illness. However, your healthcare team can work with you on a treatment plan to reduce your symptoms and manage the condition. Our guests today are Andrea Hall, founder of Shack's Hope, and Dahlia Steelie, donor recruitment supervisor for One Blood. And later in the show, we will be talking to Bishop Oral Walters of Living Word Christian Center.
On the Mich Rich Show.
Well, our guest today on the Mich Rich Show is Miss Andrea Hall, and Andrea is an advocate for sickle cell disease, and she's going to tell you a little bit about the reason she started Shack's Hope, a foundation which deals with sickle cell disease. How are you doing today, Andrea?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. How are you?
I am doing fabulously well. Tell us a little bit about your journey and why sickle cell disease.
So, Shack's Hope Foundation is actually the brainchild of my daughter, Shakira Martin, former Miss Jamaica Universe 2011, true warrior and fighter. She started her journey doing a toy drive in 2011 for her reign as Miss Jamaica, and decided in January 2016 to start Shack's Hope Foundation. Unfortunately, she lost her battle to complications due to sickle cell in August of the same year. And I took on the journey now of continuing the legacy to bring awareness to those living with sickle cell here in South Florida and Jamaica. And it has been a really rough journey, having to care for somebody living with a painful disease that's invisible. All of her 30 years, I don't think I missed any admissions, and they were frequent. And, she was a fighter, and she never allowed it to stop her from doing anything. It's really not how she died, but it's how she lived. But she was so specific about the way she wanted things to be. Most importantly, what we do is provide the feel good. It's a disease that people can't see, and they would always say, because of how beautiful she was, they couldn't imagine the kind of pain that she was in. And she said the small things we take for granted is a very big deal in the life of somebody living in pain. So we really try to do things like we went to the hospital over Christmas each year, and we try to give out toys, give them care packages, even the caregivers, the moms, because they too, and the parents, they too have a hard time. They could have other kids. Sometimes they can't be there for the admissions, but it takes a toll. And because it's invisible, people don't understand. Even caregivers don't understand. They tend to just think it's about seeking drugs, So the journey continues to try to educate, get people to know their status, get them to be understanding about the disease. I never knew that I had sickle cell trait till I was pregnant. And then her dad had to be tested. The only thing I knew was what we learned in genetics in high school. all right? I never met anybody with the disease, and they tend to be very closet. So you never really know what they're going through because they want to be treated normal. But I used to tell her it's not about pity, it's about awareness. If people don't know, they can't know how to support you. So I joined foundations. I wanted to make a difference throughout the years. And, because she had a specific, plan about doing camps, about wanting to give care packages that would have nice lip gloss, a snack that doesn't have to be healthy, something that they can grab and take whenever they're sick. So that's kind of what we concentrate on, and of course the awareness.
And I know that coming up you have something that's going to be happening, it's an ongoing basis with Shaq's Hope, and and my condolences. I know as a parent losing a child, it's not easy. I can't say I know the feeling, but for some reason I can understand pain of losing a loved one. And so I know, just continuing our legacy is a little bit hard for you at times. But when you see what you've accomplished, what are some of the things that you've accomplished as we close?
Oh, let me tell you, this is how I get through the day. And what is great is sometimes you don't even realize how you're affecting people in a positive way. So we did a brunch last year here in Davie, and it was right before COVID, the shutdown, and we had about 300 people. And we even had warriors, that's what we call them, that came along and volunteered. So that's some of the events we've done, domino tournaments here locally. In Jamaica, we support the Sickle Cell Unit at the University of the West Indies. So we have taken on an Easter treat every Easter that we do. Last year, because of COVID, we had to do it at Christmas. So we actually shipped down 500 toys with care packages and provided lunch for them and a day of fun in 2 locations. And we have our Easter treat coming up again this April. And we are collecting blankets, hoodies for them. We need Bluetooth speakers, toiletries, pashminas, and of course, toys. So we're asking if those persons can help us to reach our goal. They can either donate at shacksoap.com or they can contact me. And we're local here in Fort Lauderdale. Our goal is $8,590 in order to purchase the things that we need. Or if they prefer, they can go to Amazon. Go to Amazon Smile, choose Shack Soap as your charity. Amazon gives part of the proceeds back to us when you shop there. And that also is another way they can purchase items and have them shipped to us directly. And, I can give the address.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead as we close.
All right. So our mailing address for Shack Soap is 754 Northwest 48th Terrace, Plantation, 33317.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Andrea, for being on the Mich Rich Show today. And I am a big advocate of just supporting different causes. So you'll definitely be hearing from us. We'll try to see what we can do here on the Mich Rich Show, and I'll definitely do my own personal donation to the Sickle Cell Foundation that you have going on. Thank you, Andrea. Again, my condolences. It's never easy, but we know with God all things are possible.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you having me.
Thank you, Andrea.
On the Mich Rich Show.
Are you a kind, caring, and committed person? If you are, here at Linden Nursing Services, we're seeking home health aides, CNAs, LPNs, and RNs. Come and join our team of professional caregivers today. Not only are we the best in the business, but we deliver services of the highest quality. Give us a call today. We are waiting to hear from you. 561-434-5005 or visit us on our web at lindennursing.com. Well, welcome back to the Mich Rich Show, and today we're highlighting sickle cell disease as it affects the Caribbean community and also African Americans. And today we have with us none other than Miss Dahlia Steelie, who is one of the managers there at One Blood, and she's here to tell us a little bit about her role in advocating for sickle cell disease at this time?
Thank
Dahlia?
you so much for having me, Michelle. Well, here with one, first let me say that One Blood is the sole collector of blood and blood donation from Key West through Tallahassee. We're into Georgia, some parts of Alabama as well. So North Carolina. So One Blood is our main blood distribution and collection center here in the South. And my role, my as a donor recruiter, supervisor, what I do, I'm in charge of Northwest Broward, and my goal is to make the awareness and the education of sickle cell to the Caribbean and the African American community. It's not just a one-time thing. It's not just for this, we're kicking it off in Black History Month, but it is a ongoing thing because the collection is so small. And I think one of the biggest problem is the education that we need to bring to the community about the importance of donating blood, because every unit that is collected from the African American community is tested. So what we are providing is that service that we are testing people, because people are not aware. People don't know that sometimes they're just carriers of the disease. So with our service, it's a twofold. You're being tested for the disease and you're possible helping someone who has the disease. Because as a sickler, the Caucasian community cannot help you. And we have a lot of collection in that community. And as African American suffering from this disease, it is important that you get blood donation from within.
Awesome. So, I have been told that in the African American community, we use a lot of the blood, but we don't donate enough blood. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in that arena.
Okay, and that is true. I think outside of education and awareness, there is a myth. And so because of that myth and the lack of education, African Americans don't donate largely as a whole. So you'll find that someone might have heard something a long time ago, and we as, you know, community leaders and um, in my role, it is my job, it's incumbent on me to make sure that the education goes out, the awareness is there. One of the reasons that I think people do not donate, the biggest thing is that they said they're not asked. So this is why we go into the schools and we make sure we provide that education from that level so people are aware from young, and then it takes them into college and then of course into the work world.
Awesome. Well, it's when we decided to collaborate and do this, it just opened my eyes, and then of course my executive director, she producer, she just went all into doing her own research and getting me the information that I need, and then you also sent me some information as to what it is that it takes for us to really get the blood pumping out of the African American community and the Caribbean community as well, because there are so many myths now with COVID and all of that. What are you seeing, in the blood drives where COVID is concerned as we close?
Well, there's still that unknown, but we are taking all the precautions. We follow the CDC guideline to a T. We do practice social distancing. When before we would have 4 people on a mobile, now it's only 2 people on a mobile at any given time. We even have those beds closed, much like in a restaurant where you'll see air stations closed. It's the same within the mobiles, that section is closed. So we can only take 2 donors at a time. So we are educating. We're trying our best, of course, to make people feel comfortable. So we're inviting people to come and just to see what we have. We want more people to have blood drives at their churches, at their place of businesses. And so we do have a lot of what we call face-to-face drives, where you'll see us at the Publixes, at the Walmarts, because collecting blood is an ongoing situation. Blood only have a shelf life of 42 days. And this is why it's always important. And as a sickler can have blood transfusion up to 3 times in 1 month. So this is why it is important that we give, and it's important that we are there collecting blood so that these sicklers can have it.
The sicklers that you're seeing now, I mean, our research showed us somewhere in for the African American babies, 1 in every 365 that's born, approximately thereabouts. So it's growing. Is that because at one point everybody was acting like that was a disease of the past, but now you're saying that it's growing.
Well, Michelle, it hasn't gone away. I think what happened is that people, and this is like an old myth, back in Jamaica, when you met somebody and was about to get married, you would actually go for a blood test. And even, back, and now that doesn't happen anymore. You meet somebody, you love them, and you just go for it. So because the blood test is not, and that was one of the things that they were testing for, that, because if I am a carrier and my husband is a carrier, I will have a full-blown sickler. And sometimes people don't know. Sometimes people don't know until the babies are born that they have this trait. And this is why it is important that we do this health education and this awareness of sickle cell right now. It is important that we do so.
Thank you so much, Dahlia, for being on the Mich Rich Show today and for, raising this awareness because, persons are still of the opinion that it's something of the past and where our focus is really shifted anyways to COVID, to AIDS, to different things. So, it's just like, nobody was really, a lot of persons were not really looking in that direction. So I'm happy that we're able to highlight that issue today and, of course, bring the awareness of how important it is for us in the African American community and the Caribbean community as well to know and understand that it is important for us to donate blood so that we can help someone else in, for the different ways in which it's needed. So again, thank you and thank One Blood for what it is that you do. Final words.
Thank you. I would just like to leave my phone number. If people want more information, they can go ahead and call me. My number is 954-592-6109. And again, my name is Dahlia Steele-Huey. Thank you so much.
And you've been doing this for how long? 5 minutes? No. How many years you said, Dahlia?
I am on almost 20 years. So yes,
Wow.
yes,
Wow.
almost 20 years.
That's
and
amazing.
I have to say, it has been, I feel so good when I can bring the need to these people because it is a blessing. It is a gift that no one can give without feeling that joy that I have helped to save a life or I've helped a sickler to smile because the sickler uses blood like you and I drink water.
Awesome. Well, thank you again and God bless you. And it was a pleasure talking to you and for you to
Thank you. Same here. Thanks for having us.
This awareness for this community. Thank you.
On the Mich Rich Show.
Welcome to Top Physical Therapy. Our patients' safety is a top priority. So we abide by the procedures of the pandemic. Here we provide occupational physical therapy and any trauma you face due to car accidents or any other physical issues. Come to Top Physical Therapy to receive treatment that is long overdue. We're located at 6730 North University Drive, Tamarack, Florida 33321, southeast corner of University and McNabb. Call today at 954-722-2212 to schedule your appointment. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to the Mich Rich Show. I'm Dr. Michelle E. and we just had a chance to speak to Andrea Hall of Shack's Hope and also Dahlia Steele-Huey of One Blood, and we visited and collaborated with Living Word Christian Center and had a chance to speak to Bishop Oral Walters, who is a senior pastor at Living Word Christian Center.
On the Mich Rich Show.
Well, welcome to the Mich Rich Show, and I'm Dr. Michelle E. We're here on site at Living Word Christian Center, and we have with us none other than or CEO or president now, or Bishop or St. Patrick Walters. And it's exciting to be here with him today. And he's going to share a little bit more about what it is that we're doing here today. We've been talking about sickle cell disease and the importance of donating blood. And so I just want our bishop, as he's collaborating with One Blood, for the blood drive for sickle cell awareness, and also with Commissioner Nancy Metea as she's doing our food distribution. So good morning and welcome to the Mich Rich Show, Pastor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. It's just a pleasure just to be here and to be able to collaborate with Commissioner Nancy Metea and One Blood, and being service to our community. And that's what Living Word is all about. That's what the church should be all about, to be able to serve our community. This is our new home, a new site, 3301 Riverside Drive in Coral Springs. So we just want to impact the community in the greatest possible way we can. Food distribution, One Blood, and of course the spiritual food also. And that's going to be our biggest impact.
So we're here at the church, Living Word Christian Center at 3301 Riverside Drive. And tell us a little bit about the church and the service that you offer. And what time is service, actually?
All right, so our services begin at 9 a.m. on Sundays. We'll have Bible study on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And for our young people, we have a youth service at 7 p.m. on Fridays. Now, why is that important? Because we have church. We're not just online. We have church. So those of you who want to actually come to a live environment, we're here at 9 o'clock every Sunday. Wear your mask. We sanitize your hand. We check your temperature. Make sure you're okay before you come to the door. And we just have a really good time in the Lord. So come on down and join with us on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m.
And I'm a proud member of Living Word Christian Center, so you know. The One Blood Drive, as we close, that we're doing today, why is this so personal to you?
It's personal to me because my granddaughter has sickle cell, and I see what she goes through, the pain in her body. She's just 5 years old, and she's, many times she has to go to the hospital to get a blood transfusion. That's the only way she get relief. So having blood ready for our children like this is so important. And so that's why it's near and dear to my heart. And I hope and I pray that one day there will be a cure for sickle cell, because I think it's time. We're sending people to the moon and, those things, and to Mars and everything else. We need to have a cure for sickle cell. And I understand that it's a predominantly black issue. And so we want to ask those that's out there, remember us, because the babies are suffering. And so that's why it's near and dear to my heart.
So here you heard it from our bishop, Bishop Oral Walters, and it's so windy and it's a nice day. I mean, what could we ask for to be collaborating with One Blood and, of course, Commissioner Nancy Metea. And, as he said, he sees what Mercy goes through with the pain in her body, and the only way she can get some ease is through blood transfusion. So it's important to give blood, as you would hear from the executive director, Dahlia Steelie. So thank you so much, Bishop, and we look forward to getting some people to join the church also, and as we're here in Coral Springs, and we're now being dubbed as the community hub. How do you feel about that as we close?
That is my vision. We want to be the hub of this community. People need to know if they need help, they can stop by Living Word Christian Center, and if we don't have help right here, we have the resources or the connection that they can receive help.
Well, that's my bishop, guys. Living Word Christian Center. We're here today at the church, actually in the parking lot, and we're collaborating with, we collaborated with One Blood, and our church is located at 3301 Riverside Drive, Coral Springs, Florida, 33065. And we got our temperatures checked. And our hands were sanitized, and so we do practice social distancing here. So God bless you, and thank you so much for joining us here today on the Mich Rich Show. I'm Dr. Michelle E., your host. Checking out.
On the Mich Rich Show.
Wow, what a great way for us to close this segment of the show. Let's change the way we view sickle cell disease, SCD. Managing this disease requires support. So let us work together for better outcomes. In the words of Helen Keller, and I quote, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." Thank you for sharing with us today on the Mich Rich Show. Join us on our next episode as we continue to highlight issues and change lives. Visit us on the web at GetvisionedTV.com or on IG, we are GetvisionedTV, and like and subscribe our YouTube channel at GetvisionedTV Official. Thank you.